Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Neca Predators line of figures. We're looking today at the Tracker Predator with removable wrist blade and over 20 points of articulation. The Tracker Predator, one of the Predators from the movie. Not a bad figure. I tell you one serious gripe that this reviewer has with the toy itself. And unfortunately, I know it's been a while and I really should have reviewed these earlier, but my opinion of the problem with this toy has certainly not changed. That is the fact that this is the second Tracker Predator I have bought. The main culprit right there, that's something I will indicate when I get the package opened up. That main culprit right there is these horns, those little extra tusks that come out of the mask. You're saying to yourself, well, Spot, why would that be a problem? Just keep it sealed. Just keep it sealed, you'll have nothing to worry about. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second right there, my friend. Hold on there, bunko. Because I bring in this guy. Oh, hey, wait a minute. That's another Tracker Predator. Well, something's definitely off. You'll see right there. Yeah, he has broken tusks. This figure stayed in the package. This figure has not come out of the package at all. And sadly, these tusks were broken on the toy. Now, actually, I ended up, I think I ordered this one online. I really should have just contacted customer service, seeing if I can get an exchange or something like that done to the toy itself. So what I ended up having to do was I went to a retail store and I ended up buying another Tracker Predator. Solely for the reason of these tusks. I know. It's horrible, horrible. So, I can tell you that's one problem that this guy has with this toy. On the back of the package, it says Tracker Predator always enjoyed the company of predator dogs over the company of the Yuchas, raised in a culture that revolves around hunting and stalking prey. Tracker Predator bred and trained predator dogs in the art of flushing and tracking, as he believed predator dogs were not used to their full abilities in the hunt by other Yuchas. On his first official hunt of a xenomorph alien, the dogs of the Tracker Predator allowed him to track and kill a xenomorph in record time, but there wasn't much of a trophy to collect as the dogs didn't leave a shred of the prey intact. Although brutal and wild, the Tracker Predator is able to command these predator dogs with great mastery and received respect as a young blood class predator. Other figures you can get down below, there is a damaged classic predator, as well as the, I believe that's the Berserker Predator. And there you go. What I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I know it's been a while since Spot had it. Really should have had these reviewed earlier. But I am going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Tracker Predator. With tusks intact. Let me also point that out. I'm so sad. See you guys in a bit. And now that he's out of package, let's have a look at the Tracker Predator. So far, so good. The Predator's tusks are intact. Now the only downside though, if you were just a casual collector, or even just a regular collector, you then have to ask yourself, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now that you got them out of package? Sure, you can put them on your shelf. Sure, why not? But what happens when the day comes, you decide to yourself, well, I don't need to put him on display anymore, I'm just going to pack him away. The big problem I have with this toy is these tusks. They're made of not a pliable rubber, no sir at all. They're actually made of a very fragile plastic. How many different toys as a collector have we picked up where any sword, dagger, firearm, anything generally is that pliable, soft rubber? Sure, they might come out warped. For example, look at the Freddy Krueger gloves. I mean, how many of those have been warped? But they weren't broken. Now, you can move them. You can move these tusks a little bit, but they will only have so much give. If this falls off your shelf, or you pack this away in a box, guaranteed the next time you, my friend, decide you want to take this figure out of box, or out of the crate or tote that you have them in, guaranteed this toy probably will have these tusks broken off. And I think that's really some serious flaw in the way that this toy was designed. You can't really fault the toy company because the toy itself was based on a movie where this was one of the designs of the character. I just wish they had made this of a much softer rubber, even if they had beefed up the size of these tusks, maybe a little bigger than what they were in the movie, just so that you didn't have the risk of these breaking off. If you own this toy yourself and this toy has broken off for you, you can let me know down below. Maybe I'm not the only one that had a broken tusked predator. That aside though, I think he has really neat coloring. One thing that's nice is you can only review so many predators before you kind of get tired of the overall paint coloring of the different figures. The beauty of the tracker predator is the fact that normally areas on the predator would have been brown, silver, kind of like that yellowish gold. The tracker predator has green, all this nice extra green in the hair. You can see in the dreads there he's got the extra green there. He's got the green in the shoulder. He's even got a little bit of green up on the mask. It almost looks like it could be, you know, a war paint or a camouflage paint that he puts on himself. And he's got a little bit maybe on his helmet and whatnot. But I really I like the fact that it's very different than the other Predator figures. It's a nice welcome change. The boots also, with the Predator's figures, much different than what we would have gotten from the original Predator toys, or at least from the original Predator movie, because they weren't wearing these kind of boots. I also really like this wrap. It's kind of leather wrap that he's got around his mid-torso. He's got some loose straps of this leather material as well. And up at the top you can actually see that he's got these little tiny teeth in his necklace here. One of the only few Predators too where he's got this kind of necklace wrap that goes almost all the way up to his head. Again, a really, really nice aspect of the toy. His cannon, his pulse cannon or plasma cannon, whatever the shoulder cannon is here, is also very different from the other Predator figures as well. So it's got nice aspects to the toy. I really like the overall look of the toy. I just wish this wasn't such a predominant problem. Now he does have one accessory. No, it's not the tusks. He has one accessory. He does have a blade that you can actually take and put into his wrist here. It is removable. So if you do want to have it in there, you can have it in there. If you don't, you can just simply take it out. Again, this is a very brittle kind of plastic. So I would say have some bit of caution. You have the figure on display with this blade that he doesn't fall. This blade could easily break off. So I would probably just be inclined just to leave it off altogether. Just call it a day, leave it off. In the way of the Tracker Predator's articulation, he has a ball joint in the head. You can't get really a lot of movement. It's a bit stiff. I guess you can get a little bit there. Once again, usually a big ongoing problem with Predators is the fact that the hair always seems to get in the way. The cannon, shoulder cannon, seems to be able to go up and down. It doesn't look like it rotates. If it does rotate, it's giving me a lot of resistance, usually an indication to me, leave it alone. He's got a pin and socket shoulder, so his arms can go out, rotate back and forth. He's got a rotation in the elbow. He has a bend in the elbow, which I'm always very careful with on Predator figures because that joint always breaks off. He's got a rotation in the hand, so you can kind of get this really cool pose. If you had like a heart or a skull in his hand, you could do that. There's a swivel in the waist area. The only one downside I don't like about the toys is that he's got the split crotch joint in the leg. So the legs do go forward and back, but it's on this kind of weird, they only go out, they go back in a weird position. There is also a rotation in the thigh, which is extremely stiff on this toy. A bend in the knee, a swivel in the foot, or swivel in the legs, and also a swivel in the foot. Also, a bit of a problem with some of these Predator figures is the fact that they're very top heavy, due likely to the fact of the helmet itself. So you have something that has a very fragile tusk right here, and then you also have it on a figure that's extremely top heavy. Kind of makes for a figure that you got to be very careful with having on display. Speaking of having on display, I think if you're going to get yourself the Tracker Predator, or you likely have him, you probably have him on display with one of these guys, and that would be one of the Predator dogs. In a perfect world, I would say you probably would want to have two of these and have them on either side of the Tracker Predator. Very nice display though to have him featured with the dogs, and I really like the toy. I mean, as much as I gripe about the actual design flaws of the way that the toy was built, this shouldn't have been as big of an issue as it was. At least for me, it was. But I still really like the design of the toy. And it's almost refreshing. It is almost a refreshing toy to get when you've been reviewing and collecting what I think is the same Predators all the time. The green and everything else just make this such a different and such a rewarding Predator that I'm going to give the Tracker here, I'm going to give him an 8. Just wish there was a way to kind of get around this whole tusk issue, but still a pretty good toy nonetheless. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the NECA Predators line of figures. We're looking today at Tracker Predator. I thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, there are certainly more Predator and other toy reviews, toy spots to come. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.